Modern feminism, once the crown of empowerment, has become a hollow imitation of its original promise. What began as a movement to champion women's rights has morphed into a machine that churns out disillusionment and chaos. Today's version doesn't liberate women. It enslaves them to ideals that deny their very essence. Instead of lifting women up, it encourages them to tear themselves apart, piece by piece, until what remains is a shadow of who they could have been. The problem is simple, yet insidious. Feminism tells women they must reject their nature to be equal. Not equal in value, but in action, pretending they must mirror men in every aspect of life, even if it means destroying what makes them unique. And the result? Women are now lonelier, more anxious, and more lost than ever before. They've been sold a dream, but what they've been handed is a nightmare. Modern feminism forces women to chase an impossible ideal, a life free of traditional roles, boundless ambition, and constant self-fulfillment. It promises that if they reject everything their ancestors cherished, they'll somehow find happiness. But here's the reality. Women are being asked to wear armor they were never meant to bear. And this armor, forged by bitterness and deceit, is crushing them. Take the push for career over family. Feminism tells women their worth lies in their paychecks, not in their relationships. And so, many women delay or outright reject building families, only to find themselves in their 30s or 40s, staring into the abyss of regret. Fertility is not infinite. Time is not kind. Yet feminism whispers the lie. You have time. Don't worry about it. You can have it all later. But later never comes, does it? The cruel truth is that biology waits for no ideology. What's worse is the growing disdain for motherhood, a role that, for centuries, was seen as a source of strength and purpose. Feminism, with its venomous tongue, brands mothers as weak, unambitious, or trapped. It paints the family unit as a prison, rather than a sanctuary. And so, countless women trade the warmth of connection for the cold pursuit of individualism, only to find themselves abandoned by the very system they trusted. Modern feminism also sells women the myth of independence, absolute independence. It preaches that relying on a man or anyone else is a sign of weakness. But independence, taken to its extreme, leads to isolation. No man, no woman, no human being thrives in isolation. We are creatures of connection. Yet feminism encourages women to turn away from the partnerships and bonds that could give their lives meaning. This philosophy has turned dating into a battlefield, not a dance. Women are told to treat men as adversaries, not partners, to demand submission rather than seek balance. And in this hostile arena, the natural rhythm of attraction, masculinity and femininity complementing each other, is shattered. Instead of love, we get power struggles. Instead of unity, we get resentment. And let's not forget the epidemic of loneliness. Women are now encouraged to delay or forego relationships altogether. They're told they don't need a man, that happiness lies in their careers or self-care routines. But those late nights, staring at a phone screen, scrolling through endless voids of nothingness, they speak a different truth. Women are lonely, desperately lonely, and feminism offers no answers, only more empty platitudes. Modern feminism pretends to empower women, but in reality, it strips them of their power. True power comes from understanding yourself, your strengths, your nature, your role in the greater story. Feminism, however, tells women to ignore all that. It teaches them to hate their femininity, to view their instincts as shackles, and to see men as enemies. This self-destructive ideology has also fueled a rise in narcissism. Women are told to prioritize themselves above all else, above their families, their communities, even their future selves. They're taught that selfishness is strength, that arrogance is confidence, and that empathy is weakness. But this kind of empowerment is a mask, and behind that mask, a void, a deep soul-crushing emptiness that no amount of validation or Instagram likes can fill. What feminism doesn't tell women is that true empowerment comes from balance, from embracing both strength and vulnerability, from creating, nurturing, and leading. Feminism doesn't want balance, it wants chaos. And in that chaos, countless women are lost. Modern feminism frames the relationship between men and women as a zero-sum game, where one must lose for the other to win. Instead of fostering complementary roles, it pits men and women against each other. Feminism insists women must compete with men in every sphere, careers, status, even personal relationships, rather than recognizing the unique strengths that both genders bring to the table. This competitive mindset undermines the natural synergy between men and women. In a healthy dynamic, men and women support, enhance, and balance each other. But when feminism tells women to prove their worth by outperforming men or refusing to rely on them, it destroys the foundation of mutual respect and interdependence that makes partnerships thrive. Feminism relentlessly attacks masculinity, branding it as toxic and oppressive. Men are taught to suppress their masculine traits, strength, leadership, protectiveness, and to apologize simply for being men. This strips men of their natural roles as providers and protectors, leaving them unsure of how to navigate relationships. At the same time, women are encouraged to adopt masculine traits, aggression, independence, assertiveness, while abandoning their feminine qualities like nurturing and cooperation. This reversal creates a void. Women resent men for not stepping up, while men feel alienated, unsure of their role in a relationship where their masculinity is no longer valued. Modern feminism sows distrust between men and women by promoting the idea that men are inherently oppressive or predatory. Women are taught to approach men with suspicion, assuming ulterior motives or ill intent. This paranoia poisons the well of connection before a relationship even begins. Relationships thrive on polarity, the magnetic attraction between masculine and feminine energies. Feminism, however, tries to neutralize these energies, insisting that men and women are the same. By pushing women to be more masculine and men to suppress their masculinity, feminism obliterates the natural dynamic that fuels passion and intimacy. When women adopt masculine traits in relationships, they often become domineering, competitive, and dismissive of their partners. Men, in turn, may either push back aggressively or withdraw entirely, leading to a lack of balance. The result is a battlefield, not a partnership. Feminism reduces relationships to transactional exchanges rather than meaningful connections. The focus shifts from love and partnership to equality as a ledger, keeping score of who contributes what. Feminism demands that women refuse traditional roles like caregiving, insisting they split every responsibility equally, regardless of what works best for the couple. This approach strips relationships of their deeper purpose: connection, support, and shared goals. Instead, they become sterile partnerships based on fairness rather than fulfillment, leading to resentment and disillusionment on both sides. Modern feminism glorifies independence to the point of rejecting interdependence altogether. Women are told they don't need men, that relying on a partner is a sign of weakness. While independence is important, humans are wired for connection. Healthy relationships are built on mutual reliance, where each partner brings something to the table. By rejecting interdependence, feminism isolates women, leaving them to face life's challenges alone. It also alienates men, who are naturally wired to provide and protect. Men and women are stronger together, but feminism denies this truth, leaving both genders unfulfilled. Feminism has contributed to the erosion of commitment by promoting hookup culture and rejecting traditional values like marriage and family. Women are encouraged to delay or forego these milestones, focusing instead on careers and personal freedom. Meanwhile, men, seeing the lack of value placed on commitment, are less likely to pursue serious relationships. This shift creates a culture of casual flings and fleeting connections, leaving both men and women feeling empty. Without commitment, relationships lose depth and purpose, and the joy of building something meaningful together is lost. Feminism positions itself as a wedge between men and women, making collaboration seem impossible. It tells women they can't trust men, and tells men they're unwanted or unnecessary. This narrative not only damages relationships but also society as a whole, as it disrupts the family unit, the cornerstone of civilization. Men and women were designed to complement each other, not to be adversaries. Feminism's insistence on driving them apart only leads to division, resentment, and the collapse of healthy dynamics. To repair the dynamics between men and women, we must reject the feminist ideology that drives them apart. Men and women are not enemies. They are partners, each bringing unique strengths to the table. Restoring this balance requires embracing traditional values, celebrating differences, and rejecting the toxic narratives that feminism perpetuates. True harmony lies in understanding that men and women are designed to work together, not in competition, but in collaboration. It's time to discard the lies and rebuild the trust, respect, and love that make relationships and society flourish.